What's up, everyone?
What's in one?
Love that.
Our sports podcast.
The New York Football Giants. Love that.
What's up, everybody? This is episode 15 of Fourth and One, a sports podcast. Fourth and One is presented to you by Why Am I a Nerd Podcast Network, where everyone is a nerd about something. My name is Sean Farrell, and sitting opposite of me is the golden voice of podcasting, Matt Ferreira. Back from his dad's birthday party, it's Ant the Stat Man. Welcome back, Ant.
What's up? It's good to be here.
And
I don't think that's real. Wait, are there? Yeah. Holy shit, there's fans in the stadium. Sorry to interrupt, guys.
Really?
But we got the game on. There's fans in the stadium in Kansas City.
Yeah, there's only, I think, 5 teams that are letting fans in.
Oh, there's only 5 teams that are letting fans in.
So breaking news. Wow. That's actually pretty crazy.
That's almost unfair.
I'm on a delay, so I'm going to hear Cameron James in the background cheering when Kelsey scores.
I only have a TV in this room, so.
Yeah, Ant, last week you missed an eventful beginning of the draft.
Oh, man.
It was
a mess, huh?
It was out of control. You should have watched. Matt put it together. He scrambled. He got it laid out.
It's teamwork. Teamwork.
It seemed to work. It seemed to work out.
Yeah, look, it worked out. Everything worked out. Everyone had a good time. We had a good crew on here.
Just Yahoo just messed us up with that draft order, and it was just like, oh my god, panic. And then 2 people dropped out.
Yeah, I was wondering what happened with that.
Yeah, Yahoo just changed because
we couldn't get in touch with them. And to set up the draft time, we needed everybody in. So if you didn't respond.
Yeah, and for whatever reason, with the Yahoo app, you can't change the draft prior to the draft time. Or, within an hour of the draft time. I don't understand why. It doesn't make any sense to me. You should be able to change it whenever you want. It shouldn't. I don't know.
Yeah, it was you know what? That's what fantasy drafts are all about. We came together, a little camaraderie before we competed against each other.
Got some bonding.
How'd you like your team? You were obviously preoccupied as well.
Yeah, I think it came out
a little cake with the first pick.
Well, see, the thing was my app didn't notify me, so I wasn't even on the app when it made that pick, and I was like, "Wait, we're picking?" And then it said I picked it. Automatically picked Kamara, so I'm happy with that.
I think that was best player available.
Yeah, so. I think Saquon went, Zeke went, CMC went. What's his name? Can't think of his name.
Oh.
Carolina running back.
Oh, McCaffrey.
All the big guys. All the big guys.
So, it's all good.
It was good. It was fun. We had a good crew on here thanks to, Snacks McGuigan, the Fins Dude, Washington Dave. We had a Tim Whalen appearance for a little bit.
Timmy showed up.
A lot of shit talking. It was actually a pretty good time.
Yeah.
A lot of reminiscing. And then we actually did talk some fantasy football somewhat.
Yeah, the breakdown analysis at the end of that episode was pretty cool.
We broke down everyone's team. So thanks to everybody who came on. It was a lot of fun. I mean, I hadn't done a draft like that where we had a Zoom going afterwards where we did some analysis plus during just to see everyone's reaction. I know we had Cameron James did that clip on the Instagram. And that was also a funny part of it we recorded it. I'm sure maybe it'll come out as some bonus footage, basically of just all of us scrambling. It was me and Matt just on the computer, trying to figure out how to get this thing up and running.
Right.
And he recorded everything for it. So
that was cool.
That out eventually, just so you can see what we actually.
Well, just a warning. We might be hearing from his lawyers again because he told me the league is rigged already. So.
Oh yeah, he did start yoing up with that. He's because there's
what is his rigging?
So in the scramble to get the league set up in the 10 minutes we had last week, I think instead of for one of the settings for receptions, I put 5 instead of 0.5, or it didn't register the decimal, but something went wrong there. So it was 5 points per catch, which the Fins dude actually caught and let me know. He's these projections are way too high. So I went and fixed it, and now we're accused of collusion.
Here's a valid point though. If catches were 1 point, or 2 points, or 3 points, yes, it makes those guys that catch the ball more valuable than certain positions, but they're all still on a level playing field. Everyone has an opportunity. We didn't draft that way, but
Yeah.
It could have worked out. But hey, you fixed it. So it was in the scramble. We obviously didn't catch it. It is what it is.
Yeah.
We're here now. We're
We made it.
live. We have football about to start. It is
Oh, it doesn't
8:12
even
Eastern
feel
time.
real.
So when you're hearing this, everyone will be watching football. If you're watching or listening to this, it'll be Sunday. So we're catching the first game right now, Thursday night. I got my NBCSports.com in the background here so I can watch the game.
How cool would it be if we were someone's like starting point for like football? Like you just start off like, oh, it's football Sunday. Let me listen to 4th and 1, and then just like set my lineups.
And they're like, "Who's this Cam guy that just like always calls his lawyer? Like, is that part of
Miami Cam.
football?
Yeah,
Is that part of
shows up.
sports?"
So who
I
was
did
that,
take
like
sports
Arliss?
law once, so yeah. So we got a game tonight. Return of professional football. We've had the return of college football. We have some actual ACC games this weekend. I'm looking forward to Notre Dame plays Duke. And then we got football Sunday, football Monday, little Giants football on Monday night, 8:00. Who's Dallas have this week?
Rams, Sunday Night Football.
What are your early predictions?
You want me to go first?
Well, here's my thing: is everyone's just talking Dallas up right now, big time. Which, when I'm a fan
I don't like that.
of a team, I don't like it either. Like
No.
I don't want to be jinxed.
Nope.
And everyone's like, their offense is going to be unstoppable.
It's the Browns effect. Happens to the Browns like every
The
year.
only thing the Cowboys do have for them is they do have an offensive line. So
Right.
the Browns didn't have that last year. So we'll see. Well, what do you think, Ant?
What makes me nervous is the Jalen Ramsey, Amari Cooper matchup for that night. I mean, I know they just extended Ramsey's, I forget what money he's getting, something ridiculous.
Yeah,
He's
he's
a
getting
seven.
the highest paid cornerback,
Yeah.
I think, in history.
Yeah, he's going to be getting paid, so he's going to be trying, to prove himself even more, I feel like.
I mean,
And I think Cooper just got off an injury a little bit, so.
Yeah, but honestly, I would be happy about that because Cooper's by far like not your only weapon there. You've got Gallup, who's been really solid, who I drafted him for exactly that reason. They can try out CeeDee Lamb. They've still got Blake Jarwin. They've still got Zeke. I mean, the way I would look at it, frees up other players to really get going. You guys have enough weapons that Jalen Ramsey won't be a shutdown factor.
I mean, I drafted Amari, so, give him the ball.
Yeah, I mean, they have like you said, they have so many options on that team that even if Amari is a little hurt, think of your team. I mean, I like Jason Witten, nice guy, solid guy for you guys, but he was, his career was over. Now they apparently have, Blake Jarwin's like the up and coming guy, young athletic tight end. You add him to the mix with CeeDee Lamb, Amari Cooper, Michael Gallup, Elliott, Pollard, that offensive line. I mean, they're pretty scary.
Yeah.
Not to mention Dak.
I mean, he's got to do something this year.
But
I
here's the thing.
I don't
with
think
them.
he's still your quarterback next year. I really just don't.
Well, the better season he has is good for the Cowboys now, bad for them later because he's going to want to get paid, and someone's going to have to pay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. What do you guys think about the Giants?
That still feels good. We talked about it before you came on.
I'm
nervous
still
about
thinking.
Pittsburgh's defense, allegedly the best in the league, but you don't really know. You're just talking.
I heard
on
this.
paper.
I heard this, and the more I think about it, I agree with it. That we know what to expect out of the Pittsburgh Steelers defense. We know what it's going to look like. We know what they run. We've got tons of video on it. It hasn't changed in years. Nobody knows what the Giants' offense is going to look like. They can guess. They can assume it's going to run through Barkley, but they don't know what Jones is capable of at this point. We've got healthy Slayton, healthy Ingram to go along with Sterling Shepard and Golden Tate, maybe. So, I kind of like our odds in that. We can actually kind of run the tape.
It gives us a little a higher percentage to pull something off.
Exactly, and if Joe Judge is as creative as I hope he is, I think we're going to see a lot of that executed. Maybe even later in games, just doing a couple things to get us open. Because one thing that drove me nuts last season was for how touted he is, Pat Shurmur's terrible play calling. Because he would have Saquon running up the gut all the time, and I'm like, if you get it to him outside, he's going to break it off. He's going to get at least a first down. Sure enough, 5 plays later, Jones, chucks it to Saquon, catches it on the side, and breaks a few tackles and goes through. I'm like, he just needs space. You can't send him up the gut every time. So, sorry to get back to my point. I think Judge is going to be more creative with.
I think those are good valid points. I think real unknown for the Giants is their defense. I don't know what
Yeah.
we're going to say.
Yeah,
Who's going to
that's
be where? We
very-
obviously a couple injuries here and there have hurt us so far. So I don't know. We'll see. I mean, it's just fun to have it back. Look,
Yeah.
the Giants don't have high expectations this year. No one's telling us that they're going to even compete for the division. So, what do we have to lose? Back
I
to
mean, just-
another high draft pick, continue the rebuild.
But I mean, just imagine if they come out with some kind of high-powered offense that nobody knew we could run, and we just dominate. Like that excitement of this being the first time we ever really see what Judge has planned, since there is no preseason, is actually getting me like so pumped for Monday. Like I cannot wait.
I just keep thinking about our prediction episode where we went and we made them basically the Super Bowl champs in the first 7 weeks. So hopefully, if our predictions are right, people will start tuning in to hear what we have to say.
Yeah, we can just
You know,
throw this
that's-
like we
that's
were
all we
right.
can
The
hope
guys
for.
who know, yeah.
All right, before we get into some questions, Matt, where can they find us?
All right, you guys know the drill by now. You can find us on Instagram at Why Am I a Nerd Official. That's WHY, letter A, letter M, letter I, a Nerd Official. On Facebook and YouTube at Why Am I a Nerd. On Twitter, that's at 4th and 1 Pod. That's the number 4 THANDWONPOD. 4th and 1 Pod. Please like, rate, and review us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. 5 stars would be greatly appreciated.
Greatly apprecited. Our buddy Snacks McGuigan, who Matt had the opportunity to meet face to face
Good old
via the Zoom
Snacks.
last week.
Who I think we saw a budding bromance between him and
Yeah, apparently Snacks McGuigan and Tim Whalen are like side texting about the Karate Kid, and I haven't checked in. I'm gonna text him right now and find out what they've been up to, and I'll give you guys a live update.
Well, Snatch just added me on my gamer tag on PS4, so he wants to get some Warzone in.
Oh shit.
Anthony, you'll have to listen to the episode. Tim Whalen just kept saying, "I like you, McWiggles. You're like my guy." It got like really. It was just them at one point just talking to each other and confessing their
my
love, and
God.
everyone else was just drafting.
Also, I'm going to be at Tim Whalen's house for the week 1 game, the Monday Nighter. So, I'll have to drop some videos.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I
That's
need.
awesome.
Definitely do that. I got the invite. I'm gonna see if I can make it over there maybe for a quarter or a half. So
Nice.
we'll see. He said I could bring the whole family, so I don't know what he has going on over there, but I might just show up with a bunch of kids.
Just why not?
All right. I think we got a little rapid fire section here. We could talk about these a little more in depth, but Ant, why don't you kick us off here?
Sure. This is under more pressure this year. Cam Newton or Tom Brady?
Cam
What do you
Newton.
think, Matt?
I'm going to go Cam Newton on that. Tom Brady's his resume's done. This is like a bonus round for him. This is an extra level. Excuse me. Cam Newton is trying to basically mount a comeback, like become eligible. He's eligible, if I'm not mistaken, for comeback player of the year. Like that's how bad his year was last year. And this is the guy who's a former MVP who clearly loves to win. I think there's a lot more on him going in and trying to take over, especially in Tom Brady's house, trying to, fill that legacy.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, we've talked about in previous episodes, Cam Newton signed a tiny deal just to be there.
Yeah.
Boost his
He's
name
getting like,
back
what,
up.
2.7?
Yeah, it's small. I mean, so he's trying to cash in too. I
Yeah.
mean, if he could win with the Patriots, he'd cement his legacy as, a great quarterback of all time. Tom Brady, he's got the championships. He has probably the title, I mean, at this point, of greatest quarterback of all time. It's tough to argue with all his accolades, but
Sorry.
yeah, I think Cam Newton's definitely under a little
Cameron
more
James.
pressure here. What's Cameron James saying in the back?
I don't know. He's
Cameron James
got
update.
annoyed by something, but I don't know what. So I apologize. But no, I agree. He's got enormous pressure on him. It's
Tom Brady. I mean, look.
yeah.
I mean, the only thing about Tom Brady is if he goes and he just sucks this year, there's going to be talk. Was it Belichick? Was it Tom Brady?
Yeah. Either
Was
way,
it the University of Michigan that made him great?
Probably.
No, I don't know. I think it'll just cause more controversy for Tom Brady if he does have a bad year. But as far as pressure goes, I don't really see. He's got a loaded roster. I mean, you could sit back there and throw the ball to whoever he wants.
Although Mike Evans hurt, Like he's got
Yeah.
what they say, soft tissue issue. Sounds
Yeah.
weird to say, but yeah, but it turns out to be his hamstring. I'm like, I don't know.
That's not hamstrings are not good.
Yeah,
All right, let's go to the next one.
Big Ben or Mike Tomlin?
Big Ben. No, I'm sorry, Mike Tomlin. I'm sorry, I take that back completely. Because Big Ben is about to retire. It doesn't fucking matter. Same thing. His resume's written, and he's coming back off an injury, so nobody would blame him returning from that. Definitely Mike Tomlin, even though I don't think his seat is that hot.
No, I like Mike Tomlin as a coach, but I just don't like. You never hear about him, even during subpar seasons of him getting any kind of. Like
Yeah.
you said, there's no fire under the coaching seat. Like what do you think causes that? Why just he's won?
I guess so. He's won the
I don't
owners' hearts. Yeah, I guess and I don't think the Steelers like to have multiple coaches too. I think they just enjoy the stability.
Yeah,
Maybe. So,
I mean they're always competing. I mean, they competed.
excuse me. Thank you.
I mean, last year they didn't have Ben, so is there more pressure on Ben just to come back and prove that he's still a top quarterback? Maybe this year, as far as legacy goes, like you said, he's
Yeah.
up there. I don't know. What do you think he's a Hall of Famer?
Big Ben, probably. I was gonna argue him against Eli because I feel like Eli's everyone's favorite borderline candidate, but Ben's stats are similar. But
Philip Rivers,
the
he hasn't
Super
really won
Bowl,
anything, but
yeah, but like the Super Bowl wins help, but he wasn't the MVP. Like he wasn't the reason they won those games. Whereas Eli Manning manufactured two of the most historic drives in history. So I'm gonna say he's borderline. Probably, if he gets in, it's not first ballot.
yeah, it'll be interesting to see. That's an interesting debate, I think.
Yeah.
And
I
what do
hadn't
you
thought about that
what do you
before,
what do you think? Big Ben Hall of Famer?
I don't know. That's going to be a tough one.
I mean, if he's a Hall of Famer, Tony Romo might as well be a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, I mean, what has he done?
Yeah.
Huge.
Right.
When I think of Hall of Famer, I hate to say it, but Eli Manning. I mean, look what he's done.
Love that. Love that.
He's done a lot more than Big Ben.
Yeah, I agree. All right, let's go to the next one. An interesting one. to say the
Pete
least.
Carroll or Jamal Adams?
I would say Jamal. I would say Jamal Adams.
Yeah,
easily.
better put your money where your mouth is.
He talked all that shit when he was on the Jets,
Yep.
and now he's where he wants to be, and now he's got to back it up. I mean,
Yep.
there's Pete Carroll. He's kind of like Mike Tomlin. He's just in a spot where I don't see him going anywhere. You know, he has all the pieces there to stay relevant for a while, so he's kind of just going to be there until they have probably really bad seasons. But
Yeah.
I don't see that happening with they always put together a solid team. So I think that's a pretty easy one. But all right, let's go to the next one.
Aaron Rodgers or Matt LaFleur?
Ooh,
That's a tough one.
That's tough just because is Matt LaFleur making draft pick decisions?
That's exactly what I was thinking too. Because if he's got influence on that, then I'd say it's him. Because how are you one game away from the Super Bowl? The only thing you need is another wide receiver, and you don't take one in one of the best wide receiver drafts in recent memory.
Yeah, I mean there is pressure on Aaron Rodgers, but I think that's more put on by the media and the public because of the draft.
Right.
You know, they're making him out to be. I mean, I guess I'd
The
be
bad
upset too
guy,
if I was
kind of.
him. The bad guy, and he's just there doing what he has to do, unless he's behind the scenes making demands and But it doesn't seem like that. It seems like the media is really pitching it as he's pissed off, he's mad. This is his last hurrah. There is he going to leave or are they going to trade him? But
Yeah.
I don't know. I think definitely. I think Matt LaFleur probably just because if he is part of this however they're drafting their team and putting this team together, it's his team. It's hard to say that he's not responsible for it.
Yeah. You can't deny that.
Let's go to the next one.
Dak Prescott or Baker Mayfield?
I don't know. Yeah, why don't you take
Yeah.
us there? Start us off here, buddy.
I think Dak. Honestly, I
Why's
think he's
that?
got more. I think he's got more to prove. Maybe put his money where his mouth is. He wants his big contract. All right, prove it. You think you're worth that money? Let's see what you got. Baker,
Plus, he has all the weapons.
exactly.
Yeah.
He has
He's
no
gonna do
excuse.
it. This is a
He's
year.
got no excuses anymore. So I think he's a lot more pressure than Baker.
I think they're under pressure. I mean, I think they're both under pressure for different situations. Obviously, completely different situations.
Yeah, like one's like I feel like an individual, and then Baker's for like the whole team kind of thing.
Yeah,
I mean-
super touted high draft pick. Kind of, I mean, not necessarily his fault last year, but the team went down hard. He didn't ever look that great. He was also running for his life half the time.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's tough to say. You're right. Dak just needs to, if this is his year, to prove that he's worth all this money that he's asking for.
Here's the way I see it. No matter what happens, Dak could have a terrible year. He's still going to get a contract. Like,
Yeah.
that's guaranteed for him. He's definitely signing someone who'll be the starter where he signs. If Baker Mayfield fucks up again this year, that's probably it for him. I can't really see somebody signing him to another starting role. He might compete. He might be a locker room presence. But, like, I can't see him going further in his career after this if he doesn't do something this year. So I think it's kind of do or die for him.
I think it's pretty valid. It's good
I like
perspective, Matt. That's really.
Yeah,
that's why
I
you're here.
try.
Let's hope he doesn't drop it. Let's hope he doesn't drop too many bombs on OBJ, if you know what I'm saying.
Hey.
Oh my God, we didn't talk about that.
No, maybe we should.
You don't think we should?
No, I think we should probably.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So
I
yeah.
don't know, man. That's some weird shit.
I don't know.
Literally, no pun intended.
I don't get it. Like, that doesn't seem like, I don't know how I can put this politely. That girl was really unattractive, and I feel like Odell could have done better if he wanted, something like that. And it just doesn't seem like the kind of thing. I don't know. Like, it just doesn't. Something about it just doesn't fit. I'm just like, no. Like,
I think she's like Chief Keef's ex-baby mama
yeah,
or something.
like something like that. Actually, can you do that? You can be an ex. Like, all right, I'm giving the kid back. Out.
Yeah, Odell. I mean, I'm kind of happy he's not on the Giants right now. They don't need this publicity
Oh, could you
at all. It's the
imagine?
last thing we need.
Yeah,
A lot of good memes, though.
tons.
Yeah.
Live update from Pat McGuigan. Him and Tim Whalen have been talking about Cobra Kai and forming their own dojo. So be on the lookout. Season 3 of Cobra Kai. Pat McGuigan and Tim Whalen as the new rivals.
Yeah.
Let's
Fantastic.
go to another Baker Mayfield question here.
Yep. Baker Mayfield or Derek Carr.
I think they're both in basically
Similar boat.
super similar situations.
I agree because, excuse me.
Plus,
Oh, thank you. And, something I just considered too, I was like, well, I wonder who the big quarterback next year is. Like, oh, duh, it's Trevor Lawrence. So both those teams could pull the plug on them faster just to tank for a better shot at getting him too. They might have really short leashes, all things considered.
Yeah, I think probably Derek Carr is under more pressure because he's just been around longer.
Yeah.
He's kind of like, this is really like.
And he's always been like a very mediocre guy that I'm like, oh yeah, Derek Carr. I'm like, it's,
he
he's
had
the guy
like
who
one
was-
really good season where people
Yeah.
are like, he's the guy, and he just hasn't done anything since. So,
Yeah.
it'll be interesting to see what happens with
Wow.
them. And like you
Oh.
said, I think though, if we have live game reactions too.
Like,
If I just don't see the Raiders being in a place where they're going to be competing for a top pick, because I think overall they have a pretty good team. If Baker Mayfield does repeat last year, you could see them in a top 10, top 5 pick. So
yeah.
only if it was the NBA lottery where they could just be the
Just roll up there.
10th worst team and get the first pick. All right, let's go to our last under more pressure this year.
all right. Adam Gase or Sam Darnold?
I think Adam Gase.
Yeah, I
that
gotta
guy
agree with that.
he just gets torn apart left and right. I mean, I don't blame people for tearing him apart because he just
Yeah,
seems
but
like
he's
he doesn't know what he's doing. I don't know how he still has that.
dude. That first interview he had as Jets coach is like, what the fuck is he on?
Yeah,
Like, yeah, I know,
Giants would never hire a coach like that, except for fucking Ben McAdoo.
Fuck Ben McAdoo and fuck Bob McAdoo too. Fuck both of them.
Both the
Enemies
McAdoo
of the
bros.
show.
Enemies
Oh!
of the show. What's happening, Matt? Give us an update here.
This Patrick Mahomes. Wow, Deshaun Watson's about to get sacked. Dumped it off to David Johnson, who tried to turn and catch it and had it in his hands for a second and just flew out. Could have saved the play right there.
Let's get to some of these QB questions.
All right, QB questions. What week do we see Herbert start over Tyron?
I mean, I'm basing this totally off Hard Knocks, but I don't think you're going to see. I don't know if Herbert's ready to play. I think they're going to stick with Tyrod as long as possible.
Unless the only scenario would be if Tyrod got hurt.
Right. I mean, remember when Herbert was supposed to be the number one guy?
He was supposed to go to us, yeah. Which we lucked out, man.
I mean, maybe he is good. I just don't know a lot about him. We haven't seen much of him. He kind of dropped off after those 2 years ago when he was supposed to come out, be number one. Comes out the next year, and then he kind of,
He's like, oh, I don't want to come out. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. So I don't see him replacing him. Maybe if the Chargers are doing awful, maybe in the later in the season where they just pull the plug on him and give Herbert a shot to see what he has. But I think the Chargers are supposed to be decent this year. They're just in a tough division.
Hey, great. It's going to be weird seeing them without Phil Rivers, too. But
yeah,
I'm intrigued.
Yeah. We'll watch that situation there.
Yeah.
Let's go to the next one.
Well, Andy Dalton played.
Hilaire just had his first carry. Did pretty well. Not spectacular, not bad.
All right.
There we go.
Well, Andy Dalton played this season.
Specifically. Let's go, Ant. What do you think?
Well, he played this season if Prescott struggles.
Wait.
I mean, if they want to win, so he's going to be the backup. So yeah, I think.
Will you get an Andy Dalton jersey if he leads into the playoffs?
Nope.
Playoffs.
Talking playoffs?
Yeah, if he wins one game in the playoffs at least. Will you buy a Dalton jersey for the next round to watch the game?
Oh yeah, if you want to try that, that'd be cool.
Well,
that's definitely
more
illegal.
important. If Andy Dalton leads the Cowboys to the playoffs, we'll all dye our hair red for a podcast episode.
Sorry, guys. Wait.
Deal. Done.
Hey. Uh-oh.
So when something happens, you would have that? Okay, we're...
You guys will watch it. And
Cameron James will have to dye his hair, too,
Yeah.
at this point.
He should dye his beard, too.
Yeah,
he'll dye his beard red. If Andy Dalton leads the Cowboys to the playoffs.
Do you guys want Cameron James, friend of the show, leader of the pack, Miami Cam, to stream the game in the platform, but it won't be visible for anyone on YouTube, but that way we can all watch the game together?
I mean, if he wants to set it up, yeah. I mean, he doesn't have to.
You don't have to, but if you want to set it up.
Go to.
You're a tech wizard over here.
Yeah. Which I guess you could always just cut this part out.
Andy Dalton Montefiore. Once he dyes the beard.
Candy Dalton.
Camdy Dalton. This guy gets a new nickname every week.
He really does.
Let's go to all right. Let's go to number 3 here.
Fios, right?
All right. Does Jameis see the field in New Orleans?
No. I don't know. Drew Brees is old.
Yeah.
True.
He did miss time last year.
Yeah, you can definitely see it's happening to him, which gotta love the guy, but yeah, I wouldn't be shocked actually if Jameis saw, towards the end of games or towards the end of the season, because they're gonna try and make that final run. Like that deal they tried to pull to get Jadeveon Clowney, they're clearly going for it all. So
I don't know if you could look this up. What is his contract that he signed? Is it a 1-year deal?
Oh, that is a good question.
Or do they kind of having him there to be the successor of hey, there's your boy.
His current contract is 1 year, $1.1 million.
Ooh.
Wow. So yeah, he's really got to show out.
So I mean, maybe he's just hoping for an opportunity or for.
Oh my!
I don't know.
Oh my!
Live update. What's going on?
Who was it? Sammy Watkins? Someone just caught a beautiful ball from Mahomes.
Don't tell me it was Watkins. I have him on my bench.
Who's 11? for the Chiefs.
Denard Robinson? I don't know.
Denard Robinson was
I'm
Michigan.
watching now.
quarterback.
I'm on a delay with you.
I have
yeah,
no TV,
Robinson.
so I can't see anything.
Yeah,
Man, Denard Robinson.
it is Denard
Reliable.
Robinson.
Yeah.
Denard Robinson. I always think of the Michigan.
Not
quarterback.
wait, no. Is it Denard or it's not your Denard Robinson?
Yeah, it's a different guy. That would have been sick.
Robinson. What's all right, let's go to 4 here, Ant.
What week does Tua play?
I honestly I don't know if they're gonna throw him in there if Fitzpatrick's dealing. And if they're an improved team, it's gonna be tough to say. You think he's coming in this season, Matt?
I think if he does, it's going to be late. He's not going to start. I don't think they, without tragedy befalling them, knock on wood, it doesn't. I don't think they're gonna rush him out there. So I think he might like show up at the end of some games. But if they're
that's not a
alive, or
catch,
depending
right?
what their plan is,
No catch.
that was no catch.
From the replay, I don't know if they're calling it.
Oh shit!
But I mean, we might as well be a Miami Dolphins podcast at this point. We've talked about him. We've had the Fitz dude
Seriously.
on 2 episodes in a row, and now we're talking about Tua again. But yeah, I don't know. I think unless Fitzpatrick or the team's just not doing well will come in and play.
Yeah,
But Fitzpatrick's solid. Like, he wasn't that bad last year, and they had a shitty team.
update. We can't get
NBC
the game on
NBCSports.com. You can watch it on.
NBCSports.com. You can apparently. Oh, don't they have a deal with Amazon too?
Maybe, but even if you have basic, you just go to NBCSports.com and you should be able to just click play and it'll play the
sure.
game. All right, let's go to the last
Oh, yeah, just
QB
look it.
question here.
What week will Foles take over in
Are they
Chicago?
No, no.
I'm watching on my own
Uh,
computer. I think week 2.
Oh, you're good. It's just because it's on commercial.
What do you think, Matt?
Uh,
Foles in Chicago. I'm going week 2. I think Trubisky's just going to be awful.
I think they give him a slightly longer leash than that. I'm going to say 4. Oh, I'm sorry. Is it sees the field or starts?
Dope.
I think starts. Wait, actually, let me look at that question again. Take over. He'll take over in Chicago.
I'm going to say 4 or 5.
Can you see it?
Can you
Yeah.
guys see the other screen?
Yep.
Nice. Yeah, they can.
Yeah, awesome.
Nice. Thanks, dude.
So we are, for those who will not be able to see this, we now have a stream of the game on our computer on Zoom that we all can see, so we can talk about it a little bit, I guess, as it's going on.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to.
Oh, can I add a question? Speaking of quarterbacks, real quick. So, did you guys see Kaepernick was added to Madden?
Yeah, with an 85 rating.
Yes. So, no, I read 81.
Oh, the one I thought was higher.
Higher
Yeah.
than Cam Newton.
Higher than Ben Roethlisberger, Tannehill, Derek Carr, Baker Mayfield, Cam Newton, Josh Allen, Kyler Murray, Jameis Winston, Jared Goff. I mean, Teddy Bridgewater. It keeps going. What do you guys
What
think?
was his rating
I think
the
that's
last
insane.
Madden he appeared in?
Insane, right? Good question.
Because that would be my big. If it's the same, then whatever. Then I'll
You
take
think they're
status
trying?
quo.
You think they're trying to prove a point?
I think they're trying to sell games because a lot of people have complained about this, man. So like, who else can we add? Because like I think you know what I mean. Like just to have him in there as a free agent, like there's no reason they couldn't have done that the whole time.
Yeah.
So I think it's more, and for it to just come out now, I think they're just like, oh, we're struggling to sell this game. What can we
What do you
do?
think? What do you think they're calling this right now? I'm saying no touchdown, right?
Yeah,
I gotta watch that replay one more time.
That
It
ball
can't
is
be.
out of his hands.
Oh,
Yeah, so it says here that he's higher than 17 starters. And
That's
that
insane.
it's nuts.
17.
17 starters.
So we're still waiting for our first.
Dan
Well, I know,
Jones.
did he cut a deal with Madden? Like I get like, is this how Madden's going to show their protest by putting him as a primary person?
I don't even think that's
I
it.
don't know.
Because I feel like it was purely just about who's someone we can throw in this game to sell more copies. I think there's such
Well,
an
you know
outright
what?
decline.
We're talking about it right now.
Fair
So
point.
I mean, maybe to get people talking, and maybe they're not selling as much as they thought. Who knows? I don't know. I mean, it doesn't make sense though, as far as like ratings wise. If we're talking about actual ratings of players. But, home sack. All right, let's go to some award predictions here.
All right. Who do you think will get Coach of the Year?
Martin had 3.5 sacks last season.
What do you think? Like, if the top team were to just make a straight run where they lose one game, is that person the Coach of the Year, or is it someone that turns the team around?
I would say it's
like
someone that turns the team around. So I'm trying to think who has the most potential to. Obviously, the newer coaches. Like, you could say that for potentially Judge, which I would love. You could say that for who's the new coach in Cleveland?
I know who it is. When someone asks you a question, you know the answer. But
Yeah, because it's not
how about Mike? What about Mike McCarthy? Is he up in the running?
Mike McCarthy. I mean,
Honestly, I think if he could pull off a winning season, his first season in Dallas, I think he's a good candidate.
I would think it'd be they factor in playoff wins to this too, right? Or does that come out before?
I think you're right. I think they do. I think if you qualify for the playoffs, that obviously is a benefit.
Yeah, if he gets them to the playoffs and like Dak has an outstanding season, I can see that happening.
What team were you looking to see the head coach of? Sorry.
Oh, Cleveland Browns.
It's the offensive coordinator for the Minnesota Vikings from last year.
Kevin Stefanski.
Okay, what's the fancy? So I think he's got potential too, because that team like just needs like a good leader, and I feel like they'll be on the right track. Like they've got
Miami Dolphins, Brian Flores. Hate to bring up the Miami Dolphins again, but
I love
if
Flores.
you can win a division, still a division there.
That's true.
That
Here's
could
the
be an
division, I
option.
can see that.
So I think there's a lot of options. It's just tough to say.
Yeah.
Who are the and while we're looking at the next question, pull up the coaches of the year for the previous, just all the past winners. I'm just curious to see.
Next one would be who do you think would be offensive player of the year?
What do you think, Matt?
I'm gonna go with my hometown bias here. They Saquon Barkley, Quadzilla himself.
I hope you're right. I mean, that'd be great for us. Usually, I feel like it's someone that's gonna, break out, or that's on the brink of. Lamar Jackson. He can do it all. It could be one of these dual threat guys, maybe even a Dak Prescott. With that offense, if you could do a combo Dak Prescott offense player of the year, Mike McCarthy coach of the year if they have a good season.
You think I could have a bite yet?
I mean, there's a lot that could really happen here.
I haven't eaten.
Hey, Matt, real quick, ask Cameron if this background noise is going to be effective from the video.
Oh, Cameron, is the background noise from the stream going to be an issue for our video?
Might want to mute it.
Oh, yeah. So we might want to mute this then.
Yeah. All right. So the previous coach of the year, right now, John Harbaugh won last year, 19.
Right, top seed.
18 was Matt Nagy for the Bears. 17 was Sean McVay for the Rams. 2016 was my boy Jason Garrett. 2015 was Ron Rivera.
Hey, that's our boy Jason Garrett now.
Yeah.
Who's ours first?
Local guy.
So it seems like it's a good mix of either like first-time coaches that turn the team around, or flat out just dominant season. It's kind of what we talked about.
Yeah, the losses range from 1 loss to like 4. So.
Yeah, I think like for the Rams when he took over, he totally turned that team around in like one season.
Yeah, they went 11-5.
Yeah.
We're like Harbaugh last year. They just dominated everybody, and they probably had a good, decent season the year before. But just as a coach to dominate the whole entire year, it's tough not to give it to somebody that does that, even if it's expected. Because I feel like sometimes like
Sometimes
coaches
you
and-
know, but it's tough to live up to expectations too.
Yeah, like college football, like you either have like it could be Nick Saban and Dabo Sweeney every year,
Yeah.
just because they're always there, but they always give it to somebody else. Usually that probably turns their team around and makes big improvements.
Yeah, because those guys are basically locked in for, I feel like, the College Football Hall of Fame. Like, if you imagine a scenario where Saban didn't get into the College Football Hall of Fame.
There's no scenario.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's insane. Like, people would riot.
All right, let's go to number 3, Ant.
Defensive player of the year.
Yeah, I don't see our hometown team pulling off this one.
I don't either.
I'm going to go out. I don't want to talk about the Cowboys anymore, but I'm going to go to I don't want to be a homer, Notre Dame homer, but I'm going to go with my boy Jalen Smith. Jalen Smith, he's a beast.
Actually, damn, I just thought of another. Sorry, go ahead. I got
Go ahead.
The Cowboy?
No, not a Cowboy.
No. Go ahead. You're good, Matt. Go ahead.
My bad. No, defensive player, I'm actually going to go with Myles Garrett. I just feel like it's going to be a DN this year, unless J.J. Watt makes some kind of awesome comeback. Because, like, I basically forgot he was playing tonight because I'm so not used to seeing him on the field.
J.J.
But
Watt, I feel, is super hyped a lot, though.
Yeah.
Just because of his – I don't – like, he's just –
well, it's like we said with his
brand
Madden ranking. Yeah,
Mhm.
it was crazy.
Right.
I was going to say I had a sleeper.
Love it.
My dark horse for offensive rookie of the year is Brian Edwards.
Okay. Brian Edwards, the Las Vegas Raiders.
Yes.
Do your fantasy homework, folks. I've been on that one. All right, you got Myles Garrett. I got Jalen Smith for Defensive Player of the Year. Mine's probably Lance. Who do you like?
I don't really have anyone, to be honest.
Just go with Jalen Smith.
Yeah, of course. I mean, he's a Cowboy. I do actually. Nah, I'll stick with Jalen.
All right, let's go to number 4. This one's going to affect all of us.
Oof.
Fantasy player of the year.
So it's easy to say Michael Thomas, Christian McCaffrey, Lamar Jackson, but I feel like we got to go out of the box here. I mean, Pat Mahomes too. What are you thinking, Matt? Who's on your team that you want to be fantasy player of the year?
Well,
Saquon Barkley?
it's obviously got to be Saquon. I do have Christian McCaffrey too, though, on the same team. So, like, I wouldn't be upset to see
Yeah, how
that.
did you pull that off, by the way?
So, I did a lot of research this year, and that league is an auction draft. So, like, basically, it came down to how much I was willing to spend to get McCaffrey and Barkley, which was, like, something like 75% of my budget. It was – and we have a $200 budget. I spent $67 on Barkley and $75 on McCaffrey.
Ooh.
Yeah, but I was like, they're going to be – I don't know. I've got theories. Let me not throw everything out there.
But I mean, you have the top 2 picks in the draft.
Yeah, basically. And then when it came back, like I just kind of spent money where I thought it was good. I got Kyler Murray. I got a really solid receiver core in the cheap. I got Robert Woods. I got Michael Gallup. Like a few guys
it's
that
a
are
lot
just
of
producers.
They always talk about the auction strategy called studs and duds, where you just spend majority of your budget on your 4 top guys or your 2 top guys, and then you fill in the rest of your roster. And usually it works out pretty well because there's a lot of roster turnover in fantasy.
Exactly.
All right, I agree. I think Saquon Barkley is obviously going to rebound from last year.
Yeah.
He wouldn't be getting drafted so high if he wasn't. Just because
I
his
agree.
potential is skyrocketed. If you base it on his results last year, he'd be in the 2nd round.
Yep.
I-
Well,
you know,
even so, like, and that was injured. He missed like 3 or 4 games, and I think
Right.
Cash. Yeah, he's still hobbled though. He's not like classic Brandon Cooks. Cameron James is upset that he did not start Brandon Cooks against me this evening.
He is pretty when he's healthy. Brandon Cooks is solid.
Yeah, but I think he's still like what is it? A hamstring for him too?
If he gets like one more concussion, they're saying like he's done. Like he's gonna have to
Really?
retire.
I didn't know he had that many.
Yeah, he gets hurt every year. He's like great to have. He has big games, but he's so injury prone.
Yeah.
And there's a reason. Like people say he's went from, I think he was on New Orleans. He was on
LA
Patriots.
Patriots.
He was on the Rams, and now he's on the Texans. He's
Yeah.
moved around. So I don't know what the reason is for that, but something has to be going on, you know? What do you think? If Houston wins this, like it's gonna blow up some
Oh my God! Could you imagine if you put like $100 on Houston, they won this game? Like I think they're going to be alive.
Andy Reid with the face shield too. You gotta love that.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to our last question here for the NFL.
Breakout player of the year.
Oh, it's my dark horse for offensive player of the year. We're going to go with Bryan Edwards. Late pick. I think he's going to be a big part of that offense.
Who do you think, Ant? Do you have anybody you think is gonna break out this year?
I think Joe Burrow is gonna do pretty well.
Yeah.
I'd like to see him bring the Bengals up.
Imagine him with a healthy AJ Green. Like if AJ stays healthy this year, that's huge.
That's what I was gonna say. I think if AJ Green comes back, I mean, I guess that could be called comeback player of the year. I guess breakout player of the year has to be a younger guy. I mean,
yeah, like we didn't know who they were. Like Devontae Parker kind of fit that bill last year.
Right. I think you can look at probably like a guy in San Francisco who has no receiving core right now. A big guy is Brandon Ayuk. That's getting a lot of publicity on their team.
Yeah.
Speedy guy. He's going to fill in for Deebo Samuel while he's out, who I think is actually coming back soon. But
yeah, I think it's like week 2. Week 3,
yeah.
something like that. Yeah.
Like that. No one wants to be the bold person here and pick up the Packers' backup quarterback as their breakout player of the year.
No chance. Aaron Rodgers.
I'm not putting money on that one.
Yeah, he's gonna. Aaron Rodgers is gonna have probably a great year this year just because he's pissed off.
Yeah, he just wants to prove everybody wrong. All right, I think we got some NBA questions, options, and we will be getting to 4th and Win Sports trivia. Ooh. So, Ann, let's hit these in.
All right, Heat pulled the gentleman's sweep on the Bucks. Does the Greek Freak need to move on from Milwaukee? Where do you see him going?
I mean, the New York Knicks, obviously, is the place to be.
I knew you were going to say that.
But definitely not. He's definitely not going there. They do have a large Greek population, though, which would welcome him with open arms.
Did he get that? David Johnson with the touchdown. Oh, sorry. You guys are delayed.
Yeah, what the hell? We're sharing a screen, man.
My bad.
Man, that's a big.
I was looking up.
Hey, we're sharing.
Well,
yeah,
I can
we're going
predict
off the shared screen.
There's the big screen up. But tell you what, I'll bet you guys on the next play the result of this drive. Whatever you want.
Is it going to be? Oh, it's at 20 yards out too.
Yeah, this is a good one.
Let's see it.
Right up the middle?
All right, so does David Johnson still have it?
Looks like it. Looks like it was 2016, DJ.
Yeah. Maybe everyone's talking them down if that was a dumb trade. Maybe it's not. We will see, I guess, throughout the season.
I'm still a very big believer on not giving up on top talents. He could be.
Yeah.
That was a really
back to the Greek Freak, though. I know he was called recently a Scottie Pippen, not a Michael Jordan. The guy's just too dominant, though. He could be the most dominant player in the NBA if he wanted to be.
Yeah.
He's been hurt. It's tough to say like that did not affect their team at all. You know, I mean, maybe the Heat are. This is the kind of season we talked about in the past where a lower seed can upset a higher seed just based on that long break they took and the team chemistry.
Yeah, very true.
You know, the Bucks were on a roll until the season stopped, and then it's kind of hard to pick that back up again. You lose a lot of momentum.
Well, it helps when you don't go up against the feared Orlando Magic in the first round too. You know, they had
you
been
guys
shaking
wore
in their
them
boots.
down. The Magic wore them down for the Heat. So
definitely got inside their heads on that first game.
Yeah, I don't see him staying in Milwaukee though. I think if he wants to cash, I think he wants to cash in.
Well, I hope Milwaukee just kind of wises up and sees what they can do, like stretches the budget where they can, get creative with some accounting, and get somebody else in there to help them. Like, I would love to see each team kind of have its own dominant player again, kind of like the 90s, and we're not that far off from it. So,
yeah,
I would like to see it happen.
Where do you think he'll go?
Oh.
What?
Did you guys answer that? Where do you think he'll go?
I said the Knicks, obviously.
Yeah.
Nice.
But no, I think I could see him going to like the Clippers or something if they could free up cap room in time, but I don't know.
Okay.
We're not competing with LeBron out west.
Yeah, true. The Celtics and Raptors are in a small script. Celtics and Raptors are in a tight one. Who do you like to win, and which team matches up best against the Heat?
I mean, the Celtics have been on a roll. I think they're also a hot team, but
Yeah.
I think the Raptors are going to pull this one off.
You think
And
so?
Yeah, I think so. I think they're going to pull it off. I know the Celtics have been unreal, but I feel like whoever does win this series will beat the Heat in the next round.
I would like
No,
to see the Heat make it, to be honest. But
Really?
yeah, but I think the Celtics do have a shot. Like I don't know. I think it's gonna be a good game.
Do you think the Heat could face LeBron in the championship and just beat him for spurning them X amount of years ago?
I could see them facing off, but I still think LeBron would take it.
Yeah,
I have credit where it's due.
I think they're playing right now too.
Are they? That's obviously that's coming in second to football. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Tonight, it's football. You only have week by week. We have this every night.
Yeah.
The Lakers right now are winning 76-59 in the third quarter. So that series is going to be trouble for the Rockets. They're going to be
Yeah.
down 3-1.
Damn. Sorry to jump in here. This stat on David Johnson. In 2016, he had 16 games, 2,118 scrimmage yards, and 20 touchdowns. Like I had him that year in fantasy, but damn,
That was his year. Then
Yeah.
the next year he was hurt. I think he got hurt. Like
Yeah,
taking number one, he was out for the whole season.
yeah. He like broke his wrist or something.
Yeah, and then that he kind of never was the same.
Yeah, but it looks like he might be coming back right now.
Yeah, let's go to that last question, man.
Thoughts on Nash and the Nets? Will he be successful there?
I was shocked.
I did not see that coming. Like I reread
Yeah.
my phone like twice. Like what?
Well,
Like, it
I
needed
also
a-
don't follow the Nets, but
Did
I guess
anyone see that coming? Like at all?
I
Steve
don't think
Nash's
so.
agent. Like,
Yeah,
mean,
I feel like it wasn't public anywhere. Like even
Maybe-
I thought.
Maybe it was a factor of Durant and Kyrie picking who they wanted to coach or learn from, essentially.
Yeah,
Because he didn't play that long ago. I mean, Jason Kidd did a pretty good job in Milwaukee, and I think he was in Brooklyn for a little bit.
I think it was too.
But I don't know. I think it's an interesting move. But how can you predict how he's going to do? No, obviously he has no experience as far as I know of coaching. But at this day and age, I think it's like for teams like that with those star players, it's more about managing their personalities and getting to their wants and needs instead of writing up the X's and O's. Because you could draw a play for Kevin Durant, but that guy can do whatever he wants on the court anyway.
Yeah, he's a
So-
freak.
He is a freak, not the Greek freak, but he is. I hope he does. I mean, I obviously felt spurned by him when he didn't come to New York, just like every other free agent. But I am excited to see what he can do next year off an Achilles injury. See if he's still the same player.
Yeah,
See them actually, with Steve Nash on the bench. It should be pretty fun to watch. So, I think that does it for our questions for this evening.
So we're up to the main event here.
But before we get into our next segment, let's get a word from our sponsor.
Why Am I a Nerd podcast network has been brought to you by our sponsor, Me Moms. The best breakfast and lunch down the Jersey Shore with 3 great locations in Wall Township, Middletown, and Brick, New Jersey. Me Moms specializes in unique and fun takes on your traditional lunch and breakfast items. Open 7 days a week from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. You can find more information at www.memoms.com.
All right, gentlemen. Fourth and Win Sports Trivia. We're competing for individual bragging rights as always. Today's matchup is the Golden Voice versus Ant the Statman. Stronger than ever. 1-0, undefeated. And Golden Voice is trying to he's competed in every match here. He's getting worn down. We're going to pull throwing the flag soon. But I think he's trying to get up to 500
Oh
now.
my,
What do we got here?
Kelsey, big play.
Stop watching the other TV, man.
I'm sorry, I can't help it. I'm just predicting what's gonna happen. Yo, can I get one of those?
Yo, what are we dishing out over there before we start trivia?
Got some Vienna fingers. Oh shit! Hell yeah!
All right. You have two advantages tonight that you may use.
Okay.
You obviously can always phone a friend. Obviously, no one that is involved in the making of this podcast. If they don't answer, then you're out of luck. You also, if it is your initial question, you can eliminate an incorrect answer. You have 30 seconds to give your response. If you're incorrect, your challenger has an opportunity to answer the question and steal the point. We will alternate answering the questions. If both challengers are incorrect, I get a point. I have not won yet either, so that may change next week when I verse one of you.
Ooh.
Today's theme in honor of college football coming back is NCAA trivia. Since we are in different rooms, we can't rock, paper, scissors, and Anthony is undefeated. He has the option if he wants to go first or not.
No, I'll pass it to Matt this time.
Oh,
What a guy.
Wow. Actually, Matt Zoom says his name is Cameron Monafort, so I don't know if that's correct.
Whoever that guy is.
So if he loses tonight, that goes on his record.
That works.
Okay, Matt. Which team has the highest winning percentage? Is it A, Michigan, B, a team that must not be named, C, Boise State, or D, Notre Dame?
When we say winning percentage, you don't mean wins all time
No, winning the percentage.
of games
So
played.
wins out of games played.
I'm going to say it's Notre Dame.
Is that your final answer?
Mm-hmm.
I wish you were correct, but you were wrong, Matt. Notre
Don't say
Dame
it.
is not the answer.
Don't say it.
And to steal, which team has the highest winning percentage? Is it A, Michigan State, B, not going to say it, or C, Boise State?
Wait. What was the first? When you said Michigan the first time, I thought you just said Michigan.
Did I say Michigan? Sorry, Michigan. Yeah.
Okay.
Did I say Michigan State?
The second time, I was like, hold on.
I'm getting interfered
Not
with by B.
Oh,
So-
man.
I'm just gonna let you know right now that they're an option on a lot of these questions. Thank you to Snacks McWigan. He knows how to really tug at your heartstrings.
I'm going to go with Boise State.
Ant, the Italian, you are correct.
Let's go.
Bold strategy there, and it paid off for you.
Early lead. I
All
like
right.
it.
The question now goes to you, Ant, to take the early 2-0 lead. The question is, Michigan has the most all-time wins. Who has the second most all-time wins? Is it A, Alabama, B, the team that we don't talk about, C, Texas, or D, USC, Southern Cal?
I'll go with USC.
You are incorrect. Matt.
It's those pieces of shit down there in fucking Ohio.
Matt, you are correct. Never thought I'd hear you give them as a correct answer, but you have tied the game up at 1-1.
Hurts my soul.
Damn.
Matt, which program has the best bowl record? Is it A, Marshall, B, Utah, C, Louisiana Tech, or D, Virginia Tech? A lot of not your usual suspects. in
Yeah,
this one.
that is.
Huh.
I'm going to go with Utah.
And Matt, you are incorrect.
Damn. Set me up.
Yeah, I thought you got it.
All right, Ant, which program has the best bowl record? A, Marshall, C, Louisiana Tech, or D, Virginia Tech? I also like to note that's the first answer I was able to say all the teams' names.
For some reason, Louisiana Tech was the first one that popped in my head, so I'm going to go with them.
And for some reason, you're wrong. The answer is A,
Marshall?
I get a point, and we are all even here, folks. Oh, wait. Yes, we are.
Oh boy.
1-1-1.
Damn.
All right. Ant. Which program has had the most consensus All-Americans? Is it A, a team we really don't like that's south of Michigan? B, Michigan? C, Notre Dame? Or D, Oklahoma?
All Americans. Go Notre Dame. Final answer.
Go Irish. You're right. Ant with the win there. Ant with 2. I have 1. Matt has 1. We have 3 questions left.
Ooh, okay.
Matt, who has had the most Heisman winners? Is it A, Notre Dame? B, a really shitty team from Ohio? C, Army? Or D, Oklahoma?
I have him on my team.
I know you do.
Oh, okay.
I'm trying not to spoil it because they can't see it yet.
Is it Kelsey touchdown?
Yep. Pardon me. Fuck it. It's those pieces of shit.
I am happy to say it's not those pieces of shit, Matt.
I'll take that then.
That's a win in your book. And for the steal, who has had the most Heisman winners? A, Notre Dame. C, Army. D, Oklahoma.
I'm gonna go with Oklahoma. Final answer.
Your final answer is incorrect. It is A, Notre Dame.
Notre Dame.
Guys should know this shit. I get 2 for that one. Ann has 2. Matt has 1. Matt does have a opportunity to come back into this game, but it's getting close here. All right. Ann.
Yeah.
What team has won the most conference championships? Is it A, a really shitty team in Ohio? B, Alabama? C, Clemson? Or D, Oklahoma?
I'm gonna eliminate one.
Okay. You are here with your new answers. Is it B, Alabama, C, Clemson, or D, Oklahoma?
I'm gonna go with Roll Tide.
And you'll be rolling into the loser column here, and
Damn
that
it.
is incorrect.
God,
And you just helped Matt out.
I
because
did 50-50 here.
He's
Let's
got a
go.
50-50 shot. What team has won the most conference championships? Is it C, Clemson, or D, Oklahoma? You still have the
Phone a friend.
phone a friend
I'm
option.
gonna do it. I'm gonna use the phone a friend.
All right.
No, wait. No,
No,
I'm not.
he's-
No, I'm not.
Oh, he's
it's
not.
50-50. It's 50-50. I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna go with
30 seconds have to be
Oklahoma.
up.
Matt says D, Oklahoma, and he is correct.
Oh, that's what I should have went with them.
Tie it
Damn
up.
it.
Go.
Tie it up. So, for those keeping record at home, that's 2 for the host, 2 for the Golden Voice, and 2 for the Italian.
I should have went with them.
Coming down to this last question. Matt, for the win, which school has had the most first-round draft picks? Is it A, USC, B, Notre Dame, C, a really shitty team in Ohio, or D, Miami?
Ooh, that's a good one. I'm gonna use my phone a friend.
Okay. When they answer the phone, You have 30 seconds.
And they can't Google either.
Hey, I'm not here. I gotta cover the name of the song.
Do you know the question again?
No, I absolutely. Who has the most?
Who has the most first round
picks?
draft? A, USC, B, Notre Dame, C, Ohio State, D, Miami. No one's answered ever.
Ever.
He's defeated.
It's all right. Still get to leave him a voicemail, and when they give the number, we'll all scream.
Hi, this is Brian. I can't get to the phone right now, but if you leave your name and number, I'll get back to you.
Oh, that's
as soon
so
as possible.
disappointing.
Thank you.
Let him have it.
What's up, big bros? Calling you because I needed help with the college football question on my podcast, and now I'm about to lose when I know your level of expertise would have been of great assistance. So I'm very upset with you. Bye. All right.
Bye.
It's
All
a
right,
joke.
Matt, you have 30 seconds to answer.
Can I get the answers one more time?
First round draft picks: A, USC, B, Notre Dame, C, Ohio State, D, Miami.
First round.
15 seconds.
Notre Dame.
Matt, you are incorrect.
Oh, if it's who I think it was, I'm going to be so upset.
And for the win, which school has had the most first-round draft picks? Is it A, Notre Dame, or sorry, A, USC, B, Ohio State, or C, Miami?
Miami, Ohio State, and what was the other one?
USC.
Let's see. Let's go with the team that doesn't like to be named for the win against Matt, who hates him.
I'd be so mad.
This is how the ends of movies are written. And with the undefeated record still,
Yeah.
the right answer of Ohio State brings him to 2-0 and buries Matt. You could not write this better yourselves, folks.
Oh, that's incredible.
get here?
I can't believe that.
I hate them so much.
Oh, man.
Oh, that's amazing. Sorry, Matt.
It was meant to be. It was meant to be.
Awful.
Oh, wow.
And on the next podcast, we're going to talk about Ohio State and how much Matt hates them.
Let me get drunk again. Let's get ready to go. Let's go on a rant. 87's the number to beat.
Yeah, done.
Fuck Ohio State. Throw it out there
Oh,
right
man.
there.
Another solid trivia. Next week, I may be competing. We will see. I'll have Snacks McGuigan send some info to
Ooh.
somebody. But thank you all for tuning in. Matt, tell them where they can find us on this fine Thursday night of football.
On the eve of football, remember that, well, I guess it's technically the day of. I was going to say eve, but it's because it's the evening. But anyway, you can find us on Instagram at WhyAmIANerdOfficial. That's WhyAmIA Nerd Official. On Facebook and YouTube at WhyAmIANerd, spelled the same, WHY. And on Twitter, that's the number 4, TH and 1, WON pod. So please like, rate, and review us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. We need it. Please. Just please. That's all I got.
Well, gentlemen, it has been nice to get back to our usual crew with no fantasy drafts going on, football back on TV, some college football this weekend. Stay tuned next week for a little Giants pod and some good old 4th and 1. But I'd like to thank everyone for watching and listening. I'm Sean.
I'm Matt.
Catch you next time.
Take it easy.
Adios.